Welcome again for more. Chapter 11, Part 2. The Pall Mall Gazette, 18th of September. The Escaped Wolf. Perilous adventure of our interviewer. Interview with the keeper in the zoological gardens. After many inquiries and almost as many refusals, and perpetually using the words Pall Mall Gazette as a sort of talisman, I managed to find the keeper of the sections of the zoological gardens in which the wolf department is included. Thomas Builder lives in one of the cottages in the enclosure behind the elephant house, and was just sitting down to his tea when I found him. Thomas and his wife are hospitable folk, elderly and without children, and if the specimen I enjoyed of their hospitality be of the average kind, their lives must be pretty comfortable. The keeper would not enter on what he called business until the supper was over, and we were all satisfied. Then, when the table was cleared and he had lit his pipe, he said, "Now, sir, you can go on and ask me what you want. You will excuse me refusing to talk of professional subjects for meals. I give the wolves and the jackals and the hyenas in the last section the tea before I begins to ask them questions." "How do you mean, ask them questions?" I queried, wishing to get him into a talkative manner. "Eating of them over the date with a pole is one way. Scratching of their heads is another. When gents, as is flush, wants a bit of a show-off to their gals, I don't so much mind the first. They eaten with the pole afore I chucked in the dinner, but I wait till their sherry and coffee, so to speak, afore I tries on with the ear scratching. Mind you," he added, philosophically, "there's a deal of the same nature in us as in them, their animalies. Here you are coming and asking of me questions about my business, and I, that grumpy like, that only for your bloomin' arse-grit I seen you blowed for I answered. Not even when you asked me sarcastic-like if I'd like you to ask the superintendent if you might ask me questions. Without offense, did I tell you to go to hell?" "You did." "And when you said you'd report me for using of obscene language, there was hitting me over the head, but the off-quit made that all right. I weren't going to fight, so I waited for the food and did it with my owl as the wolves, and lions and tigers does. But law love ye hard, now that the old woman has stuck a chunk of her tea cake in me, and rinsed me out with her blowing old teapot, and I've lit up you may scratch my ears for your wares, and won't get even a growl out of me. Drive along with your questions. I know what you're a-comin' at, that here escaped wolf." "Exactly. I want you to give me your view of it. Just tell me how it happened, and when I know the facts, I will get to say what you consider was the cause of it, and how you think the whole affair will end."
"All right, Governor. This is about the old story. That wolf, what we call Berserker, was one of 3 grey ones that came from Norway to Yarnox, which we bought of him 4 years ago. He was a nice, well-behaved wolf that never gave no trouble to talk of. I'm more surprised at him for wanting to get out nor any other animal in the place. but there you can trust wolves. No more, no woman.
Don't you mind him, sir? Broke in Mrs. Tom with a cheery laugh. He's got mine in the animal so long that blessed if he ain't like old wolf itself. But there ain't no harm in him.
Well, sir, it was about 2 hours after feeding yesterday when I first hear any disturbance. I was making up a litter in the monkey house for a young puma which is ill, but when I heard the yelping and howling, I came away straight. There were those berserker tearing like a mad thing at the bars as if he wanted to get out. There wasn't much people about that day, and close at hand was only one man, a tall, thin chap with hook nose and a pointed beard, with a few white hairs running through it. He had a hard, cold look and red eyes, and took a sort of mislike to him, for it seemed as if it was him as they was irritated at. He had white kid gloves on his hands, and he pointed out the animals to me and says,
Keeper, these wolves seem upset at something.
Maybe it's you, says I, for I did not like the airs as he gave himself. He didn't get angry, as I hoped he would, but he smiled a kind of insolent smile with the mouth full of white sharp teeth.
Oh, no, they would not like me, he says.
Oh, yes, they would, says I, imitating of him. They always like a bone or two to clean their teeth on about daytime, which you as a bagful. Well, it was an odd thing, but when the animals see us talking, they let down, and when I went over to Berserker, he let me throw his ears, same as ever. That man came over and blessed, but if you didn't put in his hand and stroke the old wolf's ears too. Take care, says I, Berserker is quick.
Never mind, he says. I'm used to him.
Are you in the business yourself, I says, taking off my head for a man what trades in wolves, etc., is a good friend to keepers.
No, says he, not exactly in the business, but I have made pets of several.
And with that he lifts his head as polite as a lord and walks away. Old Berserker kept looking after until he was out of sight, and then went and lay down in a corner and wouldn't come out the old evening. Well, last night, so soon as the moon was up, the wolves they all began howling. There wasn't nothing for them to howl at. There wasn't no one near, except one that was evidently calling a dog somewheres out back of the gardens and the park road. Once or twice I went out to see that all was right, and it was, and then the howling stopped. Just before 12 o'clock, I just took a look round before turning in, and bust me, but when I came opposite old Berserker's cage, I see the rails broken and twisted about and the cage empty, and that's all I know for certain.
Did anyone else see anything?
One of our gardeners was a-comin' home about that time from an harmony when he sees a big grey dog coming out through the garden edges. At least so he says, but I don't give much for it myself, for if he did, he never said a word about it to his missus when he got home. And it was only after the cave of the wolf was made known and we had been up all night a-hunting of the park for Berserker that he remembered seeing anything. My own belief was that the harmony had got into his head.
Now, Mr. Builder, can you account in any way for the escape of the wolf?
Well, sir, he said with a suspicious sort of modesty, I think I can, but I don't know as how you'd be satisfied with the theory.
Certainly I shall. If a man like you, who knows the animals from experience, can't hazard a good guess, at any rate, who is even to try?
Well then, sir, I account for it this way. It seems to me that Wolf escaped simply because he wanted to get out.
From the hearty way that both Thomas and his wife laughed at the joke, I could see that it had done service before, and that the whole explanation was simply an elaborate sell. I couldn't cope in badinage with the worthy Thomas, but I thought I knew a surer way to his heart, so I said, "Now, Mr. Builder, we will consider that first half sovereign worked off, and this brother of his is waiting to be claimed when you've told me what you think will happen."
Right you are, sir, he said briskly. You'll excuse me, I know for certain of ye, but the old woman here winked at me, which was as much as telling me to go on.
Well, I never, said the old lady.
My opinion is this, that your wolf is hiding off somewheres. And the gardener, what didn't remember, said he was galloping northward faster than a horse could go. But I don't believe him, for, you see, sir, wolves don't gallop no more than dogs does. They're not being built that way. Wolves is fine things in the storybook, and I just say when they gets in packs and does be chivin something that's more feared than they can make for devil of a noise and chop it up, whatever it is. But, Lord bless you, in real life a wolf is only a low creature, not half so clever as a good dog, and not half a quarter so much fight in him. This one ain't been used to fighting or even to providing for himself, and more like he's somewhere round the park aiding and shivering off. And if he sings at all, wondering where he's to get his breakfast from, or maybe he's got down some area and is in a coal cellar. My I won't. Some cook get a run start when she sees his green eyes shining her out of the dark. If he can't get food, he's bound to look for it, and mayhap he may chance to light on a butcher's shop in time. If he doesn't, and some nursemaid goes a-walking off with a soldier, leaving off the infant on the perambulator, well, then I shouldn't be surprised if the census is one baby the less. That's all. I was handing him the half-sovereign when something came bobbing up against the window, and Mr. Builder's face doubled its natural length with surprise. "God bless me," he said, "if there ain't old Berserker come back by himself." He went to the door and opened it. A most unnecessary proceeding, it seemed to me. I have always thought that a wild animal never looks so well as when some obstacle of pronounced durability is between us. A personal experience has intensified rather than diminished that idea. After all, however, there is nothing like custom, for neither Builder nor his wife thought any more of the wolf than I should of a dog. The animal itself was as peaceful and well-behaved as that father of all picture wolves, Red Riding Hood's quondam friend, whilst seeking her confidence in masquerade. The whole scene was an unutterable mixture of comedy and pathos.
The wicked wolf that for half a day had paralyzed London and set all the children in the town shivering in their shoes was there in a sort of penitent mood, and was received and petted like a sort of vulpine prodigal son. Old Builder examined him all over with most tender solicitude, and when he had finished with his penitence said, "There I knew the poor old chap would get into some kind of trouble. Didn't I say it all along? Here's his head all cut and full of broken glass. He's been getting over some bloomin' wall or other. It's a shame that people are allowed to top the walls with broken bottles. This here's what comes of it. Come along, Berserker." He took the wolf and locked him up in a cage with a piece of meat that satisfied in quantity, at any rate, the elementary conditions of the fatted calf, and went off to report. I came off too to report the only exclusive information that is given today regarding the strange escapade at the zoo. Next time, part 3.